coffee family tree, Morinda, is unique. The word Morinda is derived from Morus, and Morus is the botanical genus for the mulberry tree, which is called a shahatooth, and we are familiar with mulberry fruits. But that belongs to Bargad family or ficus family, Moraceae. Here the tree Morinda is from the coffee family. And this particular tree, since it has the fruits which give superficial resemblance to mulberry like fruit, so it is named as Morinda, also known as the Indian Mulberry. Its roots have been traditionally used as dye because Morinda has the presence of anthraquinone, morindine. The morindine phytochemical on enzymatic hydrolysis yields alizarin-like red dye due to the compound which is known as morindone. So traditionally, the plants which were used for dyeing, coloring silk, wool, cotton, their species was named tinctoria. So we know Indigofera tinctoria, indigo yielding plant. We had the indigo plantations. Another plant which is also named after tinctoria is Simplococcus tinctoria. Again, the link with dyeing. We have under the family coffee family or madder family, Morinda tinctoria, whose roots and yields the dye, purplish, red purple dye. But the roots are harvested only from the 3-4 year age old plants, not the mature trees. Under the genus Morinda, globally we have about 80 to 100 species. Some are shrubs, some are trees, and some are herbaceous or climbing vines, climbers. One of the climbing Morinda is known as Morinda jasminidis or Jasmine Morinda, which grows in Australia in the eucalyptus forests. But Morinda tinctoria is under cultivation in India because it is useful for the commercial dye due to the compound morindine, which on hydrolysis yields dye morindone. Leaves are opposite in the coffee family, Rubiaceae, and we are familiar with the madder plant, which is called Manjishta in Sanskrit. And madder plants under the Rubia genus, we had the Rubia tinctorum. Again, that was the plant which was also used for dyeing. Since it also belongs to the same family, Morinda tinctoria, so the family has the same characteristics, opposite leaves. Even Kadamba also belong to Morinda family. So this is entirely different from the Morus or mulberry, which is under the family Moraceae. Under the Morinda species, we call in Hindi Morinda tinctoria as all. But there is another more familiar and more discussed plant species under the Morinda, which is called as Morinda citrifolia. Commonly it is called as Noni fruit. Since it grows beside the sea beaches, it is also known as beach mulberry. And this plant can grow even under the Casuarina citrifolia plantations, where normally, because the Casuarina is a little pathic plant, it does not allow any other plant to grow, but under the shade of even the eucalyptus or even the Casuarina citrifolia, Morinda citrifolia can compete, it can establish itself. So it can also establish on the rocky seashores, even on the coral atolls, sandy beaches. It is highly tolerant of saline splashes of the sea. So it is also known as the beach mulberry. Its fruit has the vomit-like, putrefied, cheese-like smell when it is fully ripened. So in Indian cookery, usually unripe fruits are used in curry making, in cuisines. Because of the foul smell, it is also known as cheese fruit, the rancid or putrefied cheese-like smell when it is fully ripened. Despite its bad smell, it has been used as a staple food also in Polynesian countries along the Pacific coast. This plant, although it is native to Southeast Asia, especially the Borneo, it is also native, many species grow even in India. It was only because of the coastal existence of this plant, fruits, seeds, they got disseminated along the people migrating using the canoes. So it has found the widespread distribution. It is found in African coastal countries, even in South America. It is also found in North America, and even in Australia and Southeast Asia, China, Japan, Korea. They have mentioned it in the traditional medicinal plant. This is a reputed medicinal plant as per the Chinese pharmacopoeia. The leaves are shining, broad ovate, they are large. So it is also once upon a time called as Morinda macrophylla. This particular plant is called Noni in Hindi, also known as cheese fruit or starvation fruit, because sometimes this food is taken by the natives when they have nothing to eat. So during starvation, it is useful substitute. Flowers are 5-petaled, as it is a rubiaceae member. Petals are fused, but it is 5-lobed. Stamens are 5. It has the presence of stipules, and many bats and hawk moths, especially of the genus Macroglossum, they also come to feed during the night hours. Morinda citrifolia has the symbiotic association with beaver ants, Oikophylla smaragdina, which help the plant from the other parasitic pests, and in return the plant offers shelter to the weaver ants of the genus Oikophylla. This plant also yields the dye. The roots yield red dye. Even the stem bark is also implied for the dye, as we find that use even in case of Morinda tinctoria. Morinda citrifolia is tropical plant. It tolerates drought also. It can grow in dry habitats, it can grow in wet habitats, it can grow in acidic soils, it can grow in alkaline soils, it can grow even on the locations where we have the basaltic rocks or lava flow in the earlier time. Its fossils have been traced to the Eocene period. This particular plant has found lot of acceptance as edible plant used in various beverages, used in cuisines. Even its leaves, tender leaves, are blanched and they are developed into a cuisine in Southeastern Asian nations, especially Indonesia, Vietnam, also in Polynesian nations. The plant is used as medicinal plant. Its leaves, its bark or root bark, they are harvested, and dried powder of the fruit is also recommended in case of diseases like asthma, diabetes, to balance the blood pressure. It is useful in fighting the digestive problems. It finds use in skin care products. In various cosmetic formulations it has been used. Noni fruit is rich in vitamin A, rich in vitamin B, B1, B6, B3, even vitamin C, vitamin E. It is a rich source of calcium, potassium, sodium, presence of glycosides, anthraquinones, has been explored by the scientists, and some of the research findings have also corroborated. Noni fruit is useful, especially its juice is useful, or powdered form useful even to the patients who are suffering from diabetes. Its use has been found useful for the patients suffering with HIV, AIDS disease, and even the patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, even for them it is recommended as a healthy fruit juice, Noni fruit juice. But its more quantity can lead to some damaging impacts also. So its quantity and its proper dose need to be monitored under the supervision of Ayurvedic or a qualified doctor. Out of the many hundred species, we find its use of Morinda citrifolia or tinctoria even as a garden park plant for its ornamental beauty. It is the plant which can grow in full sunshade, but it can grow even under the other trees, under the canopy of other trees. So it can grow in shade also. Seeds can germinate within 1 or 2 months, 3 to 7 weeks, and a plant after 2 years growth can yield fruits, and the flower and fruits are available throughout the year. So this is very useful commercial tree which people have adopted for plantations. Even it is used as an intercrop with coconut plantations. in southern India, and its fruits are marketed for the health benefits which vary from different treatments for various ailments to the cosmetic use. It is useful for anti-aging, anti-wrinkle problem, useful in asthma. Only caution is the pregnant ladies or the persons suffering from kidney disease, they should not take the Noni fruit juice.